I tested 3 different AeroPress recipes so you don't have to. In 2 weeks, I'm competing at the Austrian AeroPress Championship, and last year I made it to the semifinals. 3 different recipes, 3 different philosophies about extraction. Let me show you what I learned. Recipe number 1, the cold bloom method. The idea is simple. You start with cold water, it opens up the coffee slowly, and then the heat does the main extraction. In this recipe, we're using 18 grams of coffee in the inverted method, and we're starting with a 60-gram cold bloom at room temperature. You stir the coffee bed for 8 times so all the coffee grounds get saturated evenly, and then you wait for 40 seconds. And then you're pouring 95-degree water onto the coffee bed until you hit 190 grams on the scale. You flip it at 130 and then you press until 2 minutes. And then you can add an additional 10-gram bypass of room temperature water, depending on how you want the brew to be presented. The result testing this recipe with the Gaiyo coffee from Sumatra was actually not that surprising to me. It was very sweet, very round, the cup was balanced, but for me it was not very crazy or expressive. It seems to be a very safe way to brew a good coffee, but for the competition it's not like a very outstanding and special cup. So compared to the next 2 recipes, it kind of works, but it's not the one that excites me. So if you're not subscribed yet, I will be sharing everything about my Brewers Cup preparation for next year and also for my preparation for the AeroPress competition and everything I learned about coffee and the extraction and theories I will be sharing right here. So hit the subscribe button. This would really help my channel a lot. It helps me grow. And it helps me to keep producing these videos for you guys. Recipe number 2. This one is inspired by an AeroPress champion, by George Stanica, who won in 2024 the AeroPress World Championship. He's from Romania, and he worked with the inverted method using 2 pours, 50 grams each with a Melo drip. He was using 96-degree water, then he stirred in a north, south, east, west pattern in the AeroPress, flipped the AeroPress at 130 and then pushed to 2 minutes and 15 seconds. This leaves you with a coffee concentrate of about 65 grams in the cup. So you have to dilute it with bypass water. And he was using something brilliant. He was using room temperature water and hot water to match the exact temperature where he wanted to serve the cup at about 55 degrees. So the result was already very expressive, but what's more important to me here is that it's very reliable. It's the most reliable recipe of all 3 that I'm presenting today. And this is why I also went with a recipe like this one last year for my AeroPress Championship in Austria with my recipe. If you want to check it out, it's in the description down below in the guide about the AeroPress recipes. I put it in there as a little bonus for you guys. If I would have to commit to one of these 3 recipes for the competition, I would probably go with this one because it's so easy to dial in, very reliable, and produces a great cup. But the most exciting cup is the following. Recipe number 3, and this one I actually saw online only once. I think it was shown by Coffee and Clicks on Instagram, but I'm not quite sure anymore. But I had to try it here on my brew bar because I was so excited about it. You're taking a 3rd paper filter that you're putting on top of the coffee bed, and this is where you pour the water. And this results in a clean water column above the coffee bed. When you start pressing it, you can emulate something like an espresso shot. So you're turning actually an immersion brewer or something like the AeroPress into a percolation brewer or something like a soup shot or espresso shot. I think you get what I'm saying here. You're just extracting in every phase with fresh water. So the result of this cup might be quite different, right? I tried it with a small pre-infusion where I just apply some pressure and then stop again, let it rest for a bit so the coffee can open up. And then I was pressing all the clean water through the coffee bed at once. As you can see in my video, I faced a lot of issues, like the filter is floating up and then you have an immersion brew anyways again. So this is why it's so hard to brew with this consistently, and I haven't found a solution yet how to make the coffee puck stay down there and be reliable in every brew. If I find a solution, I will let you know in future. And if you have a solution for that, put it down in the comments below. But the results with the Gaiyo coffee were actually the best in the testing. It was the most interesting cup. It had very bright, nice acidity, but also complexity, and you could really taste the flavors beautifully. So it was not just integrated into the cup, the flavors, they were really separated. It was a layered cup. And this is what you want to achieve for a competition, because this was outstanding. So where does that leave me? Actually, I believe that you can dial in every recipe so it can produce outstanding coffees. I guess all of these three approaches might be great on stage if you know the recipe very well. For me, the first recipe was great, it was safe, but it was not just what's very exciting to me. The second one is actually the safest approach for me because I already know it and I already had great results with it. But still, I want to improve my game and I want to do something different to present the cup on stage differently to the other competitors. And the third recipe is actually really exciting. It's super high risk, but also high reward. If it works, you have an outstanding cup. I might work on that a little bit more and maybe I can bring it to the stage. And actually, the Austrian AeroPress Championship coffees just arrived and I just got the package. So if you want to see how they taste, I will record this in the next video and we'll taste them with you and then try to find a recipe to represent this coffee in just a nice and expressive way. I actually put all of these recipes I brewed today in a PDF guide and I linked it down in the caption below. And if you want to know how these coffees taste, the competition coffees of the Austrian AeroPress Championship, make sure to subscribe to the channel because I will be brewing it in the next video. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. Ooh. This one is not a competition coffee, this is a Kenya. I like that. If you want to see the rest, make sure to follow along.